This episode is sponsored by my good friend, James McCready. Hello, and welcome back to Film Pro Productivity and Success, the podcast that helps film professionals and other creative people to live a more focused, effective, and happy life. My name is Carter Ferguson, and this is episode 103, A Hole in Your Bucket. Most time is wasted not in hours, but in minutes. A bucket with a small hole in the bottom gets just as empty as a bucket that is deliberately kicked over. Paul J. Meyer, unquote. And today's episode is a simple one. It's also a short one, I hope, as it is both a lesson and a call to action. I say I hope because I'm really working on these new shorter episodes, and getting them short is not an easy thing for me. But anyway, it's a short one as it's both a lesson and a call to action is what I was going to say. I want to ask you just one simple question here, and that is, do you have a hole in your bucket? But I'll get a little bit more specific, shall I? What one thing in your life is what I'm asking? What one thing in your life is holding you back or keeping you down? And a follow-up question to that one might be, what are you planning to do about it? What one thing that you can actively do something about that is keeping you back or holding you down. So think about that for a wee minute. I won't be surprised if you already know what it is, by the way, but have you failed so far to do anything about it if you do know what it is? I can guess for many of you that it might be who you are spending your time with. I keep saying that quote, what is it? You become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I think that's a definite problem for some of us. But toxic people are everywhere. I've done an episode on it. So if you want to get ahead, you need to get rid of them. Is someone always dragging you down, or do you always feel guilty about leaving someone that you know drags you down out of your plans? Are you guilty about that, perhaps? Are they a family member you keep pulling into things that keep letting you down? Do you find that you repeatedly spend time with the same people because you've always known them? Do these same people leave you de-energized and spent after you've talked to them? Then that's probably the hole in your bucket. I mean, I've got rid of 1 or 2 people in the last few years who were definitely a hole in my bucket, I can tell you for that. And one in particular, the removal of that person from my life has changed everything for me. Everything is back on track. Previously, everything was so far off track that it's hard to put into words, but that was definitely one thing that I identified as a problem and I dealt with. That was a big hole in my bucket for a long time. So here's another one. Are you forever chasing the next shiny new thing and never actually getting any work done? If you're a filmmaker, this is quite a common thing, and I've done an episode on this as well, but you're longing for the next camera or the next lens or the next drone, for example, but you never actually take these things out and use them. If that's the hole in your bucket, then you need to train yourself to stop doing that. Another problem that comes up productivity-wise again and again, and I've talked about it right from episode 2 of the show, is do you say yes to everything that comes your way? If you're saying yes to everything, then that is the hole in your bucket. And you need to start saying no to the things that don't really matter so that you can say yes to the things that do. Are you all talk and no action? Is that another thing that could be your hole in your bucket? Do you enjoy the sound of your own voice so much that you've actually started to believe your own hype? I know a few people that do that. I'm fascinated by them. They baffle me as an outsider to these people. I know that they're all talk and no action, and it's really not a good thing. It really, I find these sort of people distasteful, I've got to be honest. But do you think you've got yourself into that position? If you do, then that's possibly your problem, and you need to get back in touch with reality, wake up, and deal with it. Or are you holding yourself back with an inner critic? Is there a little devil inside your head constantly telling you that you're no good, or that life is pointless, or that this person or that person is better than you? If so, then that's the hole in your bucket. That's what you need to deal with. It's easier to fix than you think. Instantly, you just get over your pride and talk to someone about it. There's the first thing you should do. And talking therapy, I've talked about this in the past. Talking therapy is not as expensive as you think, and maybe an expert can help you out. Just to give you an idea of costs, and I can only talk in British terms, when I sought help myself after my breakdown, it was £40 a session. It was 3 sessions for £120, and it was money well spent. I'm forever grateful to the listening therapist. That's all I did, is sit and listen, have a brief chat afterwards that helped me out at that time. So there's a way out of that one as well. Don't worry about that. Or are you a forever procrastinator, or even very similar to this and connected in many ways? Are you a perfectionist, always striving for the ideal moment when the stars are in alignment before you can start working on your goals? There are ways out of that too, of course, and I've done a load of shows about it, so you've got no excuse. Go back, find ways out of them, and then put them into action. Or here's another thing: are you caught in a job or in a relationship that you hate, that sucks the life out of you and leaves you with nothing? What can you do about that? What I'd say is, don't be a wuss. Get yourself together, deal with it, and move on, or move out if it comes down to that. What one thing in your life, is what I'm saying here, is stopping you from moving forward? I need you to identify it, to name it out loud. Say it out loud right now. What is that one thing? Have you said it? Hopefully you have. If you've not, you can say it now. Okay, but take the words of Diamond Dallas Page and don't just think it, ink it. I want you to write that down. If you can identify where you're losing your time or your energy or your money or your joy and happiness or whatever it might be, that hole in your bucket, then you can start to make plans to stop that hole, to fill it. And I've got countless episodes on procrastination, so you're not short of options on that one. I've covered mental energy and mental health, the inner critic, or dealing with toxic people. I've done episodes on all of these things. Just identify what is keeping you back and take action, actual action. Do something to fix it. And it's true, and I recognize that you can't get out of something like poverty in 5 minutes, but you could start to make plans to get out of it over the course of a few months or a year, perhaps. You could cut someone off that you know keeps you back right now, today, if you could just find the courage to do it. So what's the hole in your life or career that's destroying your productivity? Name it and make a plan to fix it. Then once you have that plan, and this is not the easiest thing to do, but once you have that plan, put it into action. Take action to deal with it. Without action, it's all just hot air. So listen to me and get it done. This, right now, is your opportunity. Take action and plug that hole. If you don't plug it, you are never going to move forward. Next week's show is kind of connected to this in some ways. It's called Making Your Not To-Do List. So if you found this interesting, and I know this has been a definitely a shorter one, this is what I'm aiming for. I'm trying to get in there with a punch and get the hell out of there with a good lesson left. But if you're interested in that one, tune in. It'll be released next Sunday, 7 p.m. as usual. But I'll end right now with some words from Robin Williams, who said, "Don't associate yourself with toxic people. It's better to be alone and love yourself than surrounded by people who make you hate yourself." Now take control of your own destiny. Keep on shooting. Plug that productivity hole that I've been going on about, and join me next time on Film Pro Productivity and Success. The exec producer on this season is David Richard Thompson, and the music that you're listening to right now is Adventures by Himitsu. You can follow the show on Twitter at FilmProProdPod, or on Facebook if you like at Film Pro Productivity. And there's also a full transcript of this episode and of every episode on the official website, filmproproductivity.com. Please continue to support the show, folks, by subscribing to it on any platform, any of the podcast platforms, spreading the word, and leaving an awesome review.